We are back with the next round of Big First in Net Modern at Magic Corner Vienna. And we have our two opponents. On the right side, Stefan Wolf.
And on the left side, we've got Nicola Palmieri. So what's Stefan playing tonight?
Oh, he's playing Jeskai control with a lot of planeswalkers like Gideon of the Trials, Chandra Torch of Defiance, Gideon Yura, and yeah, of course, 4 Spell Queller, 4 Snapcaster, and 1 Search for a Scanter. And what do we have on your side?
Yeah, Nicola Palmieri is playing something sweet. While we see those players like having 2 die rolls, now we see the third one, and now this one is won by Nicola, who's on the play. Nicola is playing 4-color Saheeli. It's a green-based 4-color non-black deck that plays 4 copies of Felidar Guardian, 4 copies of Saheeli. Ray, playing a combo that was teamed too good for standard and was banned there, now in modern. So this deck is a deck that has a creature-based combo, but also can generate a lot of value with creatures with enter the battlefield triggers. We have a sweet card from Ixalan featured here. 3 copies of Merfolk Branchwalkers. The 2-mana, 2-1 that explodes when it comes into play. And we also have Voice of Resurgent, Blade Splicer, and we have Oath of Nissa, which you can flicker with Felidar Guardian, creating additional value. Also a copy of Gavany Township in the mana base here. So basically, we see Nicola trying to threaten the presence of the combo, requiring Stefan to keep up answers while he's trying to generate value and beat down with little creatures.
Yes, and we have Stefan here with just disruptive gameplay, countering something with Spell Queller, attacking through it, disrupting his opponent's play with 4 remands, Lightning Bolt and Lightning Helix and Path to Exile, and of course some mass removal like Supreme Verdict, and trying to get the edge with his Planeswalkers.
Yeah, and we saw here Nicola mild to 7, Scryed to the top, and he's playing a turn 1 Birds of Paradise off a breeding pool here.
He mild to 6, sorry.
He mild to 6, yeah.
Happens. And Stefan kept his hand. He's playing Flooded Strand, not straight ahead fetching, just waiting what his opponent will do, because at the end of turn he can cast up the new card in Modern.
Yeah, not any Serum Visions to be seen here in Stefan's list, just opting to go for 4 copies of that new cantrip here, yeah. And we see a turn 2 Course of Crufix revealing a forest, a nice draft box ugly forest here off the top of Nicola's library, and we see if Stefan has an answer here. Otherwise, that Corsair might be able to generate some value, also with the abundance of fetch lands.
What's the Corsair? 2/4?
The Corsair is a 2/4. It will not be killed by any board effects, but here we see a turn 1 Path to Exile being fired up, which would probably allow Nicola to go for his basic planes here. He has 2 copies of 1 plains, 1 island, and 2 forests.
Yeah, actually pretty nice. It's turn 2, and yeah, well, Nicola is already on 4 lands.
Yeah, he will have access to. He might have access to 5 on his 3rd turn. We see, but now Stefan is going to untap. Let's see what he's got as a follow-up here.
Well, he drew Lightning Helix for his turn, and now he's going to play which land? Can't see it. Oh,
it's an untapped Expedition Steamban.
The Expedition. So he's going down to 15.
And just passing the turn.
Nicola stays at 18. And maybe he got some remand or other action up, of course.
4 copies of remand here in Stefan's list. Opting. It has 4. Remand has fallen out of favor a bit in Modern recently, but Stefan here with 4 lands, because basically his list is just trying to stall the game for a bit and then land one of those powerful planeswalkers.
Yes, and see a Voice of Resurgence here from Nicola's side. Which quite a good card in this matchup, because
definitely.
Now Stefan basically can't play anything, and okay, here we see the remand.
On the Voice, but he can just recast the Voice, tapping bad and breeding pool, but for white. So we see if that's what Nicola chooses to do here, or if he's got a better play here, maybe even a 3-mana 1 in his hand, like a copy of Blade Splicer would be quite nice here.
Or a Saheeli, because...
Yeah, or a Saheeli, because why not?
And we're seeing it here.
It will scry 1 and deal a damage.
Yes. So how will he scry? Oh, another Saheeli, and straight to the bottom.
Straight to the bottom. He does not need another copy of Saheeli. Nope. Saheeli is nice. He can copy some of the enter the battlefield creatures, but generally speaking, it's the weaker side of the combo by itself, same as in Standard compared to its companion, the Felidar Guardian, the crazy cat.
So we see a Scalding Darn from Stefan's side, and a simple go. Maybe he has Spell Queller in hand. He's just waiting to counter the next spell.
Spell Queller is nice here. Spell Queller is very good in these matchups. Nicola has 4 Path to Exiles and 2 Refractor Mages to get rid of it, but not too many ways. And other than that, Spell Queller can just be a nice 2-for-1 and can also beat down in the air.
I think I see 2 Voice of Resurgence in his hand and 1 Restoration Angel, so he can...
But he's leading out with the Saheeli Plus, and we see a copy of Oath of Nissa, which he quickly leaves on top here.
Yes.
And also pinning down Stefan to 13. And now
Pretty
we
nice
probably
turn.
just see a Voice of Resurgence deployed here.
Yes. So do we have something in response? Opt. So Stefan can scry once and then try a card. So the card goes to the bottom. And he's trying another random card. And we'll see what it is. Hopefully for him, another remand.
We see another copy of Voice of Resurgence added after the first one resolved, and a pass of the turn here.
Yes.
And we see Stefan chooses to fetch in his end step. Let's see what he can do here. It's pretty behind on board here.
Most likely he will get a Shockland, Blade Depth, and...
another Expedition, a Sacred Foundry here.
And then go on with his turn. Maybe in his turn he's trying to get rid of the board state. Supreme Verdict would be nice.
Supreme Verdict would mean that Nicola would still be left with two tokens that might grow and the Planeswalker. I don't think that would be that effective here. Anger of the Gods would be nice, but no copies of that in Stefan's main deck. Or his sideboard, it seems, tonight.
So we will see what Stefan will do here. While the options are not that big.
His tapping Field of Ruin and killing that Hallowed Fountain here. But Nicola, if he doesn't have it in hand already, might just go for his copy of Basic Planes here. Yes. So that's not actually doing much in terms of mana denial.
Nope.
While Stefan is able to search out his copy of Basic Planes.
So now he has Lightning Helix open. Maybe he's going to play it. We'll see soon. Or he has yes, he has
The best target here would probably still be that bad, because you don't really want to kill the Voice, or you can get the Saheeli down before it threatens to ultimate. The ultimate of Saheeli obviously not doing anything in his deck, because it can fetch out artifacts, and he's not playing any artifacts.
Nope, not any. But Stefan decides to do nothing, and doing something with 2 Voice of Resurgence out in your opponent's turn is maybe not the right way to go.
That's kind of really suicidal. I wouldn't do that. Yes. It would put 10 power on the board immediately. 1 spell, 10 power. That seems quite rough.
So we see another +1 from the Saheeli.
Another quick bottom with the Sky.
Yeah. Noble Hierarchy gets to the bottom, and Stefan is going to be attacked with
both Voices. Which would already put him down to 7 here.
Yes.
Meaning his life total is turning out to be quite precarious at this point in the game.
Yes, kind of, really. So what do we see from Nicola's side?
And he's going for a Restoration Angel main phase here, and just untapping a Voice.
Yes.
Going for the main phase Restoration Angel just to play around any cryptic commands or other counter spells, which he wouldn't have minded running the Restoration Angel into anyways because of those Voice of Resurgences. Yes. So I might have preferred just not playing it main phase here.
Yeah, but Nicola is hellbent and
Stefan scoops it up.
Yeah, quick first game for both players, so we are going to supporting options. What does Nicola have?
So Nicola has a few nice ones here. He's got 2 copies of Gedoktik, which would stop any Supreme Verdicts or Cryptic Commands from being played, as well as stopping the one of Sphinx's Revelation in Stefan's deck, while being a 2/2. Then we have 2 copies of Negate, which are just great. They can counter any of the spells in the control deck. Then we have 2 Geistesdraft, which I think are very good too, because they can pressure the control deck very quickly and very efficiently. We also have a Detention Sphere, which you might want to bring in, but Stefan didn't show any of his Planeswalkers to Nicola, so it's questionable if Nicola actually decides to bring a Detention Sphere, because it's not that good against some builds of Jeskai, but it would be quite nice against Stefan's build, I imagine. What about Stefan's side? What options here, Michi?
Yeah, well, he's playing a 1 of Ruined Halo, which I think would be pretty nice against the combo.
Yeah, you can
just stop it.
That's right, it would have to get removed first. He would just name Felidar Guardian, you will not take any damage by whatever arbitrary number of kittens is attacking you.
And then I see here 2 Engineered Explosive to keep the bot presence low. And I'm not quite sure. Blast Alliance is here for creature removal.
I really don't like Blast Alliance against the Voice of Resurgence deck.
No, it's really not that good. Then we see 2 Surgical Extractions. Maybe if you can kill off one of the combo pieces and extract it. Maybe that might be the way to go, but I'm not really sure either, because it's a very situational card. And yeah, well, this is our kind of the separate options from Stefan, which he has here. So we will see with which cards he will go on. So both players are already shuffling up their deck, and yeah, well, hopefully we're going to see a great second game soon.
Yeah, it seems like even though Stefan doesn't have too many sideboard options, his main deck plan is not too bad. He has lots of those bolts for the mana dogs, he has the snappies, he has the spell Quellers to interact, his planeswalkers to generate value, he has some board vibes. The remands are not too bad if the Voice of Research is not involved, but the Voice here is actually just a 2 of Nicholas deck, so he drew both copies in that first game. Because the other 2-drops here are Kasali Primate and Merfolk Branchwalker, which are nowhere near as devastating against Stefan's list as that Voice of Resurgence.
No, and I think being on the play, Stefan now has the advantage in this matchup because he can counter off anything or handle anything which Nicola plays in his first turn, and then just sits on Spell Queller, plays a few, and starts attacking through.
And for Nicola here, I think that while his combo is not that easy to resemble through a lot of cheap removal, both of the combo pieces still might generate some value. I'm not sure if he wants all 4 copies of the Saheeli Ray, but it's nice that Felidar Guardian can generate value in lots of different ways. With an Oath of Nissa, for example.
Oh yeah, this is pretty nice. It was
because
nice
you can't interact with that unless you have a counter.
Yeah, seeing combos from Standard going down to Modern is pretty nice because, well, there are more decks available in Modern, and the more things are available, the more interesting the format is. And while the round started, we saw Stefan, of course, being on the play, playing Flooded Strand, and...
At turn 1, Oath of Nissa here by Nicola. He's looking at a copy of Restoration Angel, a copy of Bladespricer, and a land. He can get all of them, so let's see if he has enough lands in hand, and he will not go for the land. And depending on his curve, he will choose one of the threats. If he's low on lands, he will just pick the land drop here to guarantee hitting his further land drops. But he's just going for the most high impact card here, the Restoration Angel, which indicates to me that he is not short on lands in hand at this point. He would probably have at least 2 more lands in hand if he doesn't pick.
Seeing a Windswept Thief there. And now we see Stefan fetching end of turn for Expedition.
Sacred Foundry.
Thank you very much, because I do not know the Expedition cards. Because
you just look at it. If it's blue and there's water on it, it's Steam Lands. If the water is fire, it's Steam Lands. Sorry, if there's water on it, it's not fire, it's Hallowed Fountain. If it's just like some lava rock gibberish, then it's Sacred Foundry. They all kind of self-explanatory.
You kind of do make it sound easy. So, which nice land do we see here being played from Stefan? Is this a special
basic island.
It's just a normal basic island.
It's nice. I like just an old border. Nice basic island. Possibly foil can't really save from here.
Yeah, we cannot say that.
While a Kasali Private is coming in. This doesn't do too much in this matchup. Nope. It's just a creature that attacks for 3. But Nicola can't side all that much. He probably sides out some of his mana dogs because they're kind of weak in this matchup and the speed is not as important.
Yes. But we do, I think, do I see a Bird of Paradise in his hand, or am I wrong?
Yeah, he has access to 6 dogs here, so I might just trim them down to 4 or something, maybe. I've heard players who play these mana dog heavy decks like to do that in control matchups, while we see here the Primate attacking for 3 due to the Exalted Trigger, and Stefan just taking the damage.
Yeah, going down to 16, while Nicolas stays on good 18 life, nothing really happened. And we will see what Nicola will do this turn, because I think he has the 3rd land and Saheeli Ray in hand. And it could be the time for him to just play it. But
the question is if he wants to just throw it into a counterspell here or not.
Yeah, well, Stefan doesn't play really any real counterspells, just Remands and Spell Queller, which could be played. And we do see here a Spell Queller being deployed, exiling Saheeli Ray until
the Spell Queller leaves the battlefield. Yeah, which would need a path to exile here as the most likely answer. One of the copies of Reflector Mages, but I assume those might have got boarded out. I'm not completely sure. I
do think so. They got boarded out because it's the only situation where they might be useful and they have to be on time, and or as well they would just sit in the hand. So we see attack from Spell Queller, and Stefan is now going on with his plan, just swing for some little damage while backing up the board with his spells like Lightning Helix, Lightning Bolt, or remanding something, and then after quite some time maybe also playing a Planeswalker to even get more ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting about Stefan's list here, he's playing 0 copies of Celestial Colonnade, which is often a 3 or 4 of in those lists, because it can just swing the race. But apparently what Stefan's line of thought might have been, he's playing those 5 main deck Planeswalkers and 4 Spell Quellers and 4 Snapcasters. He has enough ways to win the game. He just wants to declunk his mana base a bit, not having any single tapped lands here, and just thinking that he's rather going for a smoother and less powerful mana base in terms of value, but going for more powerful spells.
Yes, like the 2 cryptic commands he's still playing and for which he has the right mana available currently.
Yeah, we see Nicola playing a land here, and let's see what he goes for on this turn after. But we see just a pass here, because we saw Nicola have that Restoration Angel, so in response to Stefan's opt, he will fetch. We see he probably might just deploy the Restoration Angel in response to the opt here, circumventing cryptic command, because there is no mana up from Stefan's side at this point. What do you think, Michi?
Yeah, I will definitely go for it, and we will see if Stefan has another Spell Queller or a remand to counter the situation, because this will be really great play for.
I mean, the Restore Angel doesn't generate any value here. You can just untap the Primate, but it's still a 3/4 fly, which does not die to bolts and can pressure Stefan more, who is already at 13 life. Can also block the Spell Queller if he so chooses. We see bottom of the opt and a draw, so the opt got to resolve, and Nicolas just letting Stefan untap, and in his upkeep he's going to play the Restoration Angel, which will promptly get Spell Queller again, and it's looking really good for Stefan here. He's got a 4-turn clock. And we see if Nicola even has that many threats left, and Stefan, yeah, he's tapped out now, but he has pressure on the board, and once he untaps, he might be able to do some very nice things.
So no land from Stefan on his turn 4. We will see what Nicola does on his turn. 2 mana, 3 mana. Do we see another Saheeli Ray?
I think this might be Corsa time. Corsa is nice here because it also buffers your life total a bit. And we see the copy of Negate off the top. It's nice when he draws it, but Stefan will know about it. Wouldn't have been good against those Spell Quellers anyway, so might be able to tag a Planeswalker or a board wipe later.
But Nikolai is deciding if he wants to fetch away and play another card, and he's going to fetch away the Negate.
Yeah, he probably has a good 2-drop, or just any 2-drop in his hand is worth deploying. It's worth shuffling away the Negate here, because it's not as good if your opponent knows about it, and also Stefan is ahead on board.
True, fetch for Breeding Pool, taking 3 damage.
Yeah.
2 for the Breeding Pool, coming into play untapped, and 1 for the fetch land, Windswept Heath. So,
and he's also should gain 1 off that Corsa trigger as well.
Yes, I couldn't really follow that up with the life total.
Okay, no worries, we'll see if he did that. Yeah, now he fetched and we have Negate on top yet again, so it all paid off.
Nice.
For Nicola, if he actually wants the Vex.
How many does he play in this sideboard?
He plays 2 copies of Negate. Might be the same one, or it might be the second copy.
Shuffle,
I assume he bought it in both. And we see Merfolk Branchwalker from Ixalan. Stefan is like, what is this? Is this Ixalan draft? No, it's not. This is a very sweet card. It gets to explore. He's just putting a counter on it because he just leaves the Negate on top. So it actually worked out nice for him here, for Nicola. But now he's down to 7 already.
Yes, already down to 7. They're already.
And we have Engineered Explosives on 2, which at this point would kill the Branchwalker and the Prime Mage, and he can just crack it. So it would completely stifle the pressure from Nicola's side here, right?
Yeah, completely.
We have another Branchwalker on top here. Nice.
So Branchwalker is also used in one specific other deck, then
the blue-green Merfolk deck,
yes,
nice. That
deck.
plays it and Kumena's Speaker.
Yes, I used to play that. I used to play mono blue Merfolk, and currently I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to play the green-blue version.
You should try it. I think it looks pretty sweet. That Branchwalker is nice. It's like 75% Silvergill Adapter Summer rounds, which is still good. It's just so much value, and it can beat down quite nicely. But we see what Nicola is going to do. He played a second Corsa here. Let's see what he can follow up with. He can try to gain a lot of life with the Corsas, but he's just passing the turn here and he's down to 7, which means he has a negate for a bolt effect, but it's still quite rough because he's just going down to 3 here with this attack.
Yeah, and his opponent Stefan clearly knows what's going up here because he has seen the negate twice.
Yeah, and he's just passing it, passing here. And we see a Felidar Guardian on top, no copy of Saheeli here, so that's not going to help him.
And no land.
Yeah, no, the land would have meant 2 life, But now he's just dead on board here, basically.
No, not really, because he has Birth of Paradise in his hand, which has flying. So he can easily block one of the Spell Quellers with leaving counter magic backup.
And he can attack Stefan down to 4 here, so that's still tricky. But the thing is, if Stefan just has 2 bolt effects and he plays 1 end of turn and then untap. Stefan's mana is a bit awkward here with the 3 basic islands and just 1 copy of Sacred Foundry. But like I said, if he has 2 bolts, for example, a bolt and snap, and Nicola only has that 1 negate, it's still gonna be lethal.
Yes, now we see the Merfolk Branchwalker getting rid of the Felidar Guardian, I will say.
Yeah, it's not
try to hit another land. Ooh.
Another bird, it's at least another jump blocker. If he manages to hit a land next turn and there is no second burn spell, like he's now completely dead here, but it's still looking pretty dicey here. Let's see what Stefan will be able to do here at the end of Nicholas' turn after that bird, that jump bird, got deployed.
Yes, so we will see. Stefan is thinking what he's going to play. Lightning bolt to the face would be perfect, kind of.
Or even pathing that bird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bolt to the face. So Nicholas like, yeah.
No, he's not. Is he scooping out?
He's like, yeah, let's just negate it. Let's just negate it. He's like, I'm so dead here.
Okay, so is there a removal or oh, I think he just threw another.
Engineered explosive for 1 kills the bird,
yes.
and will mean that 4 damage will go through unblocked, meaning the score is evened up here, and we're at 1-1. So what do you think here? This matchup looked quite. It was quite close in terms of life total, but it looked like even though Stefan had a really weird draw mana-wise, he was still in pretty good control of the game.
Yes, I think what we saw here was the power of beginning in Modern, especially if creatures are deployed, counter matching is involved, spell Queller is ready on time. Just that there wasn't enough mana available for Nicola to deploy several things a turn and go straight in.
And the spell Queller was really nice here because it allowed to counter 2 key spells. It allowed Stefan to counter 2 of Nicola's key spells while also applying pressure, and he basically just won with the damage from spell Queller attacks here. So that's really nice because Nicola doesn't have access to a lot of removal for the spell Queller.
Yes, no, not really. And what we also saw is Engineered Explosive doing the best they can. Destroying 2 creatures in the beginning and afterwards destroying the Bird of Paradise for lethal damage.
Even though they're clunky a bit, the explosives, what's nice about them here is that imagine Stefan had access to an Anger or a Supreme Verdict, he would just kill his own spell Quellers,
yes.
But the explosives, the first for 2, the second for 1, they just killed some of Nicola's creatures, but that was still good enough while not touching Stefan's spell Quellers. And here we are back with game 3 and we see Nicola leading off with a basic forest into Noble Hierarch.
Pretty good start, I would say.
Yeah, I would be super happy with that. If ever I play a Noble Hierarch, I want to have my Noble Hierarch on turn 1. So
basically what we are hopefully going to see would be like fetch for a land lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to see them.
Bolt the bird always, and Nicola already puts it into the graveyard. He knows what's coming if there's a fetch on the main phase. But now we see what 2-drop is at. It is Gedok Teak. What I was talking about before in sideboarding. Gedok Teak stops any X spells or any non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 or more. So it stops all of those nice juicy 4+ mana planeswalkers. It stops the Supreme Verdict. It stops the Cryptics. It stops Sphinx's Revelation. On the flip side, it just dies to any removal spell.
So Shockland being deployed untapped.
Gedok attacks in for 2.
Okay, nothing is being played. Quite interesting. What are we going to see here? A remount most likely.
Probably remount on the Blades price, because if this doesn't get remounted, it might look quite nice for.
Yes.
For Nicola, it's just letting that resolve, so maybe it just has a removal spell end of turn for the Golem.
So no, we are going to see a up being deployed. Scry 1. Card goes to the bottom. He will draw another random card. Hopefully it's like.
Stefan needs something here because Nicola has 6 power on the board. And Stefan's down to 13 already.
And we do see a Path to Exile, and I think Stefan threw an Engineered Explosive, so he needed to get rid of the Gedok Teak.
So that he can play. Yeah, Gedok Teak also shuts of Engineered Explosives. That's right. So it's quite nice. I like it more in decks where the 2/2 beatdown does more. I like it quite in the Boggy side, for example. But it's still nice in this deck because you have lots of things that your opponent wants to remove.
Engineered Explosive for 0. Are being deployed.
Yeah.
And Stefan is
trade for the top.
Yes, and Stefan is passing the turn with 3 mana open. Ready to cast his spell Queller.
We see a Geist of Centrafty from the side, but in Nicola's hand we see if that resolves, because that might pressure Stefan quite quickly. It's hard to interact with. I mean, he might spell Queller it, but once it's on the board, it's just it's not that easy. I mean, yeah, sure you can block it with spell Queller as well, but it hits for 6 a time.
It's a deadly threat, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the best plays for Nicola would be to attack with his creatures and play.
Geist with now we just see Felidar Guardian here, which gets spell quellered. So it's nice because if you're Nicola here and you think you will get something spell quellered anyways, he'd rather get you 4 mana spell quellered so that you're more mana efficient because you don't have a 1 mana play in hand. So next turn you might be able to play a 3-drop and a 2-drop.
Yeah, this is true. Stefan already down to 10 left, while Nicholas sits on 16, so the racing game with Spellquell is not really on yet.
No, yeah, Stefan was not able to crack the explosives here because he wanted to deploy the Queller, but he can do it this turn and kill that Golem token.
Yes, true that.
And he just played a Hallowed Fountain, tapped here, passing turn again. Let's see what Nicola, if he's deciding to deploy the Geist this turn, or if deciding to wait more. It would be nice to deploy a Geist with a negate backup here, but that would still run into another Spell Queller, but it would circumvent Remand at least.
So are we going to see an attack here?
Yeah.
Nicola is thinking if he doesn't maybe want to play the Bright Mage before.
Yeah, that's true. It depends what he wants to deploy, how he wants to use his mana this turn. But we see just an attack because that tempts. I like the attack first because it forces Stefan. It doesn't force him, but it makes it tempting to use explosives here. Otherwise, he would go down to 7. That means you can deploy any threat in your hand quite safely. Now the problem is here if you deploy Geist and you don't have a way to get through the Spell Queller, your Geist is not doing anything. It just gets blocked by the Spell Queller. So we see if that's still the best course of action here.
Yeah, but with the Geist he could get through 4 damage.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have other board presence, just 4 damage. From his stack, I'm not sure we see, but he starts on Oath of Nyssa, so maybe finding something better. But we just see another copy of Geist here.
And Path to Exile, but which will get shuffled away, I think.
It will get put to the bottom of the library.
Put the bottom.
But he's getting another Geist. The good thing about both Geists is, you just run both of them into the Spell Queller, and if your opponent takes 4 each turn, Stefan would already be down to 2 here. So that's quite threatening.
How does Geist work out with the Bright Mage? For example, if
Geist gets this Exalted Trigger. It gets the Exalted Trigger because when you attack, the Angel just gets put onto the battlefield attacking after the Exalted Trigger is already on the stack. I played this before. My first modern deck actually was a Noble Hierarch Geist of Sandraft Kosali Private deck. It was like banned hexproof. That was like Boggles before Boggles because Ethereal Armor hadn't been printed yet and neither had Gladecover Scout. So that was a sweet deck. It just looked to play Geist on turn 2 and throw auras on it.
Seems like it's now back with Saheeli Ray combo.
Yeah, you just see the Geist back, but Geist is very good with Exalted Triggers. Mm-hmm. It's a nice way to get it through things because it works like you described, Michi. You can, even though you get an Angel and if you just attack with the Geist, it still gets pumped by Kosali Pride Mage, Noble Hierarch.
So we'll see what will happen. Nicola is thinking about deploying another card. What will it
will be the Branchwalker first.
Okay. Interesting. What's going to be revealed? And it's Noble Hierarch.
So you can leave that on top or put it into the graveyard, and he can also put a counter on this Merfolk Branchwalker here.
Yeah, maybe he should leave it on the top because even if the Mage gets destroyed this turn, he can play Noble Hierarch and...
Yeah, but I mean that's all nice, but it might not be enough. He might just be looking for higher impact cards.
I have to look for the card. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Geist of Saintraft. So that it is. So he can play both in one turn. But he did decide to put it into the graveyard, and he's not trying to cast.
Now he's casting the Pride Mage, and now he's going to combat attacking, putting the Exalted Trigger on the stack, then making an Angel, and...
Devastating.
Stefan is like just jumping here, so this spell is very, very much like Supreme Verdict to me. So ouch, because Stefan's just jumping here. Meaning that we probably see a Supreme Verdict in the future soon, otherwise it's looking quite good because Nicola has lethal on the board here.
Yes. More than that.
And he's blinking with his Felidar Guardian.
Yes, searching up.
He's blinking with the Felidar Guardian came back off the spell card. He's blinking the Oath of Nyssa, getting another copy of Voice of Resurgence. But we saw the Supreme Verdict here killing everything on the board here. But we have a backup Geist, so we still have a 2-turn clock being put on the board in a second here by Nicola. So we'll see if Stefan has another answer right now.
Yes, and I think with Negate backup or no land from
It doesn't have a land. The Negate backup would be so good, but it would still protect. It wouldn't be so good, it would be pretty good, because Supreme Verdict or Snapcaster into Supreme Verdict, it still wouldn't protect him from that, and that's basically the most likely answer Stefan has available to him anyways, to a hexproof creature.
Yes. Blocking with Spell Queller is usually...
Sure, but Negate also doesn't stop that.
No, Negate doesn't stop that, and he would need a second island. Specifically, but he has still Blade Splicer, Voice of Resurgence, and a third card in hand, or just 2 cards?
I'm not completely sure. Let's see when he fans. The third card is the Negate.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. So it's 3 cards in hand, not looking bad here for him right now, but Stefan has already access to 6 mana. Now he's playing, Engineered Explosives for 3, just gets rid of the guys straight away. It costs 5 mana, but it's fine. Stefan is happy to do that because
Yeah, the Snapcaster tick would have cost 6 mana.
Exactly.
So Engineered Explosives, big turn from Stefan, getting back into the game. Without the Supreme Verdict, everything would have been over turns ago. And now we're going to see which card Nicola will
If Nicola can put some pressure again, but it seems like it still hasn't hit his 5th land drop, so he's deciding he can either go Voice with Negate backup here, or he can deploy a 3-drop here. He's going with the Blade Splicer because he just needs to put more pressure on the board here, he thinks.
Yes, or damage on the board against 6 life is quite good. And we'll see how Stefan will handle the situation. End of turn, he's going down to 5 life, fetching for another land.
We see if he has just something tapped here. But yeah, he just needs a removal for the golem here, and it's not looking too bad. And he has a lot of ways to do that. Let's see what he can come up with here.
Stefan completely fixed with his mana, I think. And Nicola's still struggling a little bit, and we'll see what Stefan can do. Currently 1-1 in this game, and we'll see who can decide the match for him.
Yeah, an interesting matchup here. The Saheeli deck is a quite nice deck in Modern that has seen some fringe and bit more than fringe play, not that much success, but it's a very sweet list because similar to some of the Abson decks, it combines a combo finish with a value-based deck, and it's quite nice. And because you're in 4 colors, you also have options to a lot of strong sideboard slots. For example, you also have some Static Casters due to your Red Splash.
So we are going to see a Voice of Resurgence here, and we will see how Stefan will handle it.
I think this is in response to your Voice. I will Snapcaster, kill your token. No, it's just a remount on the Voice. Which is very good because he can't even recast the Voice with his 4-color deck and all those basics. The mana base is super awkward. Basic Island and Voice of Resurgence, not best friends.
Not really.
And he's just putting his back in his hand. And we see if he's even got any other spell to play here, if he just has to keep sitting on that negate, which is not too bad. Sitting on a negate's fine. It might do something here. He's just looking at his opponent's graveyard. How many spell Quellers has he gone through? Because the spell Queller might just eat the Blade Splicer here. So he's just deciding to attack with the Golem, scared of the Spell Queller jumping in front of the Blade Splicer here. And we see what Stefan's got here. We see an opt. I would definitely let that opt resolve. Wouldn't negate that opt. Would rather have him opt into a bolt or something.
Draw the card. And do we see a Lightning Bolt? Looks like it is a Lightning Bolt.
And also not negating that, because rightly here what Nicola thinks is that, but he's not even leaving the negate open. Because leaving the negate up might protect him against the powerful Planeswalker coming down here, but then again he still hasn't seen any of those Planeswalkers, and it's unclear how many are still left in Stefan's deck.
Yes.
Because there's some of the clunkier cards in this matchup. Especially the 5-mana Gideon Euro.
So we see the 5th land from Nicola here.
A Flooded Strand, which should be able to actually fix his mana now.
So, but first of all, tapping 1 mana, tapping another one, Voice of Resurgence is being deployed, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just trying again.
Here it is. Does it resolve? Stefan thinking, or is it resolved?
Because you might adapt your fetching to whether the Voice resolves or not, so there's no point doing the... Ooh, we see Rev in response here, no get a Tig on board. Sphinx's Relation for 3, which will get negated because it would draw Stefan 3 cards in game 3 life, which is way too much value. So Nicolas happy to use negate here, attacks in for 1 with the Blade Splicer and passes the turn.
So big turns are waiting for Stefan because currently 3 damage are on the board from Nicolas' side. Stefan is on 4 life, so he gotta do something, and he's going Gideon Euro.
Still in his deck and no negate for that, and Gideon Euro will just plus and will force all those creatures, which are not very good, to attack Gideon. Which means the Blade Splicer and the Voice will have to attack Gideon, taking him down to 5. This is looking quite nice from Stefan here. Gideon Euro is super annoying here, and once Stefan is able to clear the board, he might also just provide the win condition, swinging in as a 6/6 indestructible soldier.
Yeah, which is pretty big.
The biggest Gideon, all of them turn into soldiers, but this one's the biggest, costs the most mana. Another Oath of Nissa depart here, one of them sacrificed. We see the trigger, it's just hitting 3 lands, so we see Razorwedge Ticket going to the hand, you're not doing much. All the creatures, I would recommend using the Birds of Paradise for mana if you have to cast something, otherwise it has to attack. If I would be Stefan, I would be like, this has to attack 2, attacking for 0, can't use the mana.
Yeah, sadly, just attacking for 3, getting him down to 4, and now playing Restoration Angel.
Making another Golem. So this is putting some pressure. At this point, the Gideon would die next turn if it just pluses. It doesn't have any good targets to minus. It's killing the Voice, so that means another Supreme Verdict. Ouch. This 100% means another Supreme Verdict.
But there's no token coming. Did he? No, okay, he's going to get it.
Yeah.
And we're going to see another Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, killing the voice token first, so that the verdict
Yes.
is the token, and still having the Gideon on the board against nothing. This looks pretty good now here for Stefan. We see a Murphy Branchwalker here, which reveals a Restoration Angel, which I assume will definitely stay on top.
Yes, should stay on top.
Because you will not find many better cards in your deck. If this is not going to win you the game, nothing pretty much will in your deck.
Yeah, and you can trigger the Murphy Branchwalker again if he's looking for a specific card. So Restoration Angel is good in this situation. But
there's a Gideon on the board. Nothing's good against the Gideon
No.
on the board that you don't pressure. Gideon's already starting to swing in here. Putting down Nicola to 6.
Yes, and I think I do see a Lightning Bolt and a Lightning Helix in Stefan's hand, so this is really devastating.
So he's got lethal, he's just trying to play around, looking for the perfect moment to use those spells.
Yes.
But he basically has perfect information here. He knows that Nicola can't do anything because all he can do at instant speed is flickering the Branchwalker, which will not put any counter spell or life gaining card in Nicola's hand. So he can use those spells at his leisure and finish off the game. Probably going to do it in response to Restoration Angel or at end of turn. But no, here we just see, so his Lightning Bolt in the Branchwalker, then Restoration Angel targeted the Lightning Bolt. He was remanding his own he was just remanding the Restoration Angel here, and now he's
Lightning Helix
finishing off the game because Helix putting down Nicola to 3, and the Gideon will finish off the job here. That was quite a nice match, wasn't it?
This was a really tough match. I would say without mass removal, Stefan would have been in really big trouble, and without Snapcaster Supreme Verdict, which was a devastating turn for Nicola, the game might have looked different. But Stefan threw into the right cards, played the game really well, knew what he was doing, and could handle every threat deployed by Nicola pretty good.
Yeah, what we see here, Nicola also bought in his one copy of Eidolon of Rhetoric, which is quite good against his deck, but it completely shuts off Snapcaster. So if you had that here, the Snapcaster play would have been possible. Other than that, sideboarding quite similar to what we said before. The two guys coming into negates to the one Gadotik and the one thingy, the one Eidolon, while Stefan here sides out the 2 Gideon of the Trials and a copy of Remand for his 2 Engineered Explosives.
No, I don't think it's a copy of Remand. I think it's a copy of Search for.
Sorry, Search for Scant. It has that little symbol in the top left corner. And 2 copies of Gideon of the Trial. And what was the third card? Did you see the third card he sided in? It was the 2 Engineered Explosives and another card.
It
probably was the Ruined Halo.
Maybe it was the Ruined Halo. We couldn't clearly see it, but maybe you saw it. Just commented below on the YouTube. On YouTube, I'm sorry.
Then we don't have to watch us talk again, and you can watch it and help us for the future. And yeah, that was quite a nice match, Saheeli. Having the tools here, but Stefan had the perfect answers in game 3 and took down the match here. And we'll be back with the finals soon.
See you soon in the finals.